Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in to ArtosisCasts and welcome back. I'm excited. I know I say that most days, but I think it's because I choose matchups that are exciting. All right. And sometimes they turn out to be crappy games, but you know, it seems impossible for this one to be. In the bottom right here, we have Shine, maybe the most creative strategic Zerg in the world. And in the bottom left, we have Noel, who has really been coming up lately. Very different types of play. I've been a huge fan of the Terran versus Protoss games that we've seen from him. And if I'm going to be honest, his Terran versus Zerg games, he's the guy who had the Vulture drop on Dominator against Queen in ASL, where he waited for the Mutas to be flying across the map and then dropped the Vultures in. It was such an interesting game. He absolutely should have ended up winning. But, you know, the thing is, you're playing against, like, a multiple-time champion. It's like, well, what are you going to do, man? Even if you get ahead, there's levels to this game. So it should be a really fun match. We're here on Polestar, and I just can't wait to see what both of them do. They're both such creative, outside-the-box thinkers. So I feel like it favors Shine, not just because he's, in general, a higher-level player. You know, Shine has been to ASL finals. He's been a pro gamer for 1,000,000 years. He actually has had a harder time lately. Like, he's been trying to get into ASL and just hasn't been able to do it. He actually lost a lot of ZVZs, which was kind of surprising. If I'm remembering the brackets correctly, he got eliminated by Zerg several times. And historically, Shine has been a pretty strong ZVZ player, but anything can really happen in that matchup. So we can't speak too judgingly about that. But yeah, he's had a harder time lately, but like he's extremely experienced. And I think his style in general can be hard for any sort of tricky Terran, because he'll play anti-meta, but also the way he plays, like, will just catch stuff where you're like, wait, because a lot of Terran builds will be anti-meta as well, if that makes sense. Right? So like, to put this in perspective, so meta is generally what's strong at a moment. And it curves slightly all the time because, like, you're doing what's strong against what they're doing that's strong, and then they change what they're doing slightly to be slightly stronger against what everyone else is starting to do because that's slightly stronger against what they were doing before, right? So it bends a little bit like that. And then you have players that go anti-meta, where it's like, well, they do this, so it's rock, paper, scissors, shotgun, right? And then, so it's like that anti-meta. But a lot of what Shine does, his will be anti-meta, but it will also be like, oh yeah, it also counters the anti-meta, like in a way. Which makes it not quite as good regular anti-meta, if that also makes sense. God, sometimes I say things, I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to understand where my brain's going with this one, but yeah, it's like, think about it this way, okay? The last time Shine was in ASL, he had some huge wins, or maybe this was the second last time he was in ASL. He had some huge wins, opening 3 hatch instead of 2, and utilizing Hydra Lurker a bit more than other players did at the time. And it was like, oh yeah, that's the type of build where it's like, oh, you're being fancy? You're being fancy at anti-meta? Well, gonna crush you with this. Okay, anyways, I'll shut up. We have this little bunker rush. Like, this is actually doing so well. And this was just like Noel punishing Shine for trying to not make Zerglings. We're seeing this type of move at the pro level a lot lately. Like, Zerg greed has just gone to the extremes where stuff like this is occasionally coming in and hurting them. Which is funny because if you try to do this on the ladder, you're just going to lose because it's like you're going to move out and try to do this and they just weren't greedy in that way. And they, you know, they have a bunch of lings and just stomp it and like you're behind. Whereas you go up to the pro level and suddenly it's god tier move. It's funny how that works. Okay. Oh, okay. So this turned out to be, this was like it was the just Rax expansion, rally the Marines, do the bunker thing. And he followed it up just with Academy Rush and hold it positioning in SCV because there's only one hole in this wall. So this is actually like, I like this as the follow-up overall. he won't be able to put on any additional pressure for a while, but he'll have good tools overall. One thing to note is that his SCV count is a little bit low. Okay, so it wasn't that what he did was without cost. So he's going to start his missile turrets really, really soon here. He's going to be on about 28 SCVs to start, maybe 29. You're looking for 31 through 34 before you start your missile turrets. So there were things cut here a little bit for him as well. So it's not a perfect situation. And I know it's not. You're like, but Artosis, that's only like a couple off. Well, it's a couple off though. So just a little side note. He's obviously winning right now. Like, this is a better position for him, undoubtedly. Shine is very, very low on drones. The scan goes down. He sees, oh, you only have 2 drones here. When you see only 2 drones there, you make extra turrets. As simple as that. Your opponent basically has to get some damage in on you. Okay, so the 4 mutas fly in. It's 4, so you can't really dive super hard. Of course, you want to be able to one-shot SCVs when you're diving. There's 6, and here's the 7th. So as the 7 come in... Oh, wow! Very decisive play here from Shine to jump on that. He gets the bunker. Okay, he's going to reduce the marine count. Oh, flies near that turret. Okay. Hey, okay. I mean, it's 6. If he had 7 here, this would be amazing. It's hard to tell yourself to commit on top of 2 turrets when you're not going to be one-shotting SCVs. Just going to remove a few more Marines, because you can one-shot those. A little bit off there. That was super decisive from Shine, though. And I do like to see that. I appreciate a decisive Zerg. He sees an opening and jumps on it, even if he's not 100% ready for it. I think he did all right with it, too. Noel right now on 3 racks production. We're at 17 minutes and 20 seconds, and he hasn't started a factory. So he's, you know, it's not a normal continuation so far, but that's because it's been such an aggressive game. Lots of missile turrets being made. He was scanning a bit more there as well. So I think he looked at that and said, okay, you know, you're a little bit all in, so let's just make those extra turrets. And that is absolutely the right play. I think he's got like a perfect turret spread right now. This is exactly what you want to see. And there's the factory finally started. 3rd base for Shine going up. He has droned a little bit. He has a Hydralisk Den, but has not started in on that as of yet. I don't know that he should start any Lurkers yet. Okay, he does get the Lurker upgrade going. I was going to say, it almost feels like you have to have a little bit of extra greed if you want to win this game. Like, maybe just really try to make the mutas pay off. Like, you know, whether... I don't think he can go for, like, a mass sunken play here. So maybe that's the consideration he's taking in. That would kind of make a little bit of sense. Because, like, yeah, his economy's been so low for so long. When these start coming out, like, you have to engage with the mutas. It doesn't feel like it's a game where he can counterattack with mutas while building 4 or 5 sunkens. Like we've seen kind of gaining a bit of popularity once again. He just doesn't really have any excess of minerals. His drone count isn't that high. He doesn't want to be spending those on that. I think right now the best he can do is just make a lot of mutas and try to reduce the army count with those Mutalisks. He does have the +1 attack, so that's nice. +1 not done for Noel yet. There are some Hydras being made, so he is getting into those Lurkers. If he can buy time and get the Lurkers up against this late of a factory, that's pretty decent. Queen's Nest is being made. Add-on is already done and Siege Tank on the way. So there is push potential, like a Siege Tank push. In fact, at this point... That's a funny looking line. At this point, the best possible play is probably like a 2 Siege Tank push on the natural. I think the window is there where he has potential to kill the natural hatchery, especially with damage already on it. Notice how Shine right now is being really careful. If he were to fly over here and try to do something with the mutas, Noel would make a beeline to his base. He would go so quick. He'd be like, yep, let's go. But the mutas are staying here. They're looking for pickoffs. They're not able to get it. Notice how Noel just sits here in a clump. It's because he's going Siege Tanks. He's getting ready for a push. I think this is the situation as well where you should have banked up scans. He's got 1, 3. You can technically get across with 3, but if he picks off your vessel, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, like, sometimes with these pushes, because you get 2 tanks out before the vessel's out, that's just how the timing on it, how long everything takes works. You can scan your way across the map so you don't run into hold position lurkers. And get the push started before the vessel. But generally, you want to have a few more scans. 3, I think, technically could get him across. See, he scans there. He has to stim up and attack it. He can't wait. Like, he has to break it. Because he doesn't have enough scans to waste time here. If he's going to scan his way across the map, he just has to move immediately. Okay, 2 more lurkers. You can see Shine. He's trying to punish if he can. Muta's slowing this down. Do you let them attack the tanks? Oh my god, this is so good for Shine. Holy crap, he might win the game off this whole position lurker. This is why you scan across the whole map as you walk here. Look at that. Lets the hold position go. Oh my god, the ultimate trap. I don't know if it'll end up being enough. He lured as best he could. You know what? He's made more mutas here as well, which, if he kills these Marines and gets those tanks, God tier plays. Gets the medic, and he's going to clear it. He's going to clear it. He's going to lose the Hydrostem, though, isn't he? Oh, no, he scans and kills the Lurker. I think that's actually inferior to getting the Hydrostem. That's funny. I think it would have been better to kill a Hydrostem than the Lurker in this case. Okay. Irradiate goes down on one of these hurt mutas. Shine has recovered? Wait, so he has... Okay, just started Carapace. Nidus on the way, but he doesn't have a Defiler Mound. Actually, I think Noel still is in a good spot then. Even though Shine is, like, rubbing 2 nickels together to make a quarter, he's not got the correct tools to stop a tank push still. But he picked off all the medics there, which is kind of funny. If you don't have medics, like, you will get whittled down. All right, some more medics have been made and will be sent across to join up. The Defiler Mound is being made, but it's a long time until Consume is done and he can get that going. Only 3 tanks. I mean, 3 lurkers. Picking off medics. Okay. Sax's mute is basically to get that vessel. If Shine pulls this game together, I am very, very impressed. Because it feels like Noel has recovered into a strong position. He's got 2 starports going, right? He does have 1-1. He hasn't started another upgrade, but he's going up to like 6 barracks. He's keeping really heavy pressure on. He did lose several vessels over and over. But I feel like this is the type of the game you just keep incrementing out your vessels. He probably should get a drop ship relatively soon. Like maybe go up to 4 vessels and then make 2 drop ships. Because that's the only way that you're going to deny this area. Or, well, I mean, maybe you can push through, but you can't count on that too much. All right, stimming into the natural now. Nice scan. See, the Defiler's just not ready here. Okay, that's going to be game. GG. Huh. Let's just jump back here real quick. So, look. Here comes the first Marine. Yeah, I just want to double show you. Depot, racks, right? So this racks generally starts around 1 minute, 26 seconds. Takes 50 seconds to build. 15 seconds per Marine. The pool finishes between 2:52 and 3 minutes. Okay? So, like, as long as you make, like, 4 lings, this push, like, doesn't work. Let's just take a quick look. Overlord was spotting. SCV's here. SCV's checking. SCV runs out. Starts bunker. 2 drones come. There's the Marine coming. Attacks that. Okay, he starts the Lings. Wait a minute. I thought for sure he must have been playing greedy there to allow this to occur. So hold on a second. I might be learning something here. All right, let's jump to 126. Because that's when the rack should be starting. Oh, I guess he started just before. Hold the phone. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh. Wow. I noticed this right at the beginning of the game, but I didn't say anything. And now it's all come together. Okay. This is slightly different than what I thought. This is one of those, you might want to turn this off right now because this is one of those little tiny granular changes that makes everything a little bit different. So notice when he's sending this out on 8. So normally if you're going to wall in and make a 9 depot, what you do is you send this to mine and then you wait for like maybe this guy to return minerals and then send him out. And he's going to hit here right around 100 minerals. But he literally rallied this from the command center. Now watch this. The first depot, if you make it in your main base, might start between 54 and 57 seconds. Let's see when he starts this one. That is a 49 to 50 second depot start. Okay. So he has already gained here on this depot and he's going to have to hold an SCV on production. But he's already gained 6-7 seconds by delaying this SCV out. And like I said, this normally starts at 126. The racks, like 126 through 130. It matters when you start this because it takes 25 seconds for this to build, and then you make that. So let's pop up to when this finishes. So 116 finish. Okay. 119 start. So he transferred the about 6-7 seconds faster depot into the 6-7 seconds faster racks. And he's going to have to hold another SCV. Okay, so he's actually sacrificed some economy. This is not as quick as 8 racks. 8 racks starts at a minute. So this is about 19 seconds later. So it's a Marine and a third of a Marine slower. 1 1/3 Marine slower. Better economy. More recoverable against things like pool first. Not that 8 racks is necessarily bad against those things, but watch. See? He holds this SCV. This is why I was talking about the kind of meta, because we have seen a lot of people with the normal barracks timings rally a Marine over and they kind of poke the drone and then they walk away. Because Zergs will just skip lings. Like high-level Zergs will skip lings if possible. But what he's done here is he's pulled everything far enough forward that he's like gotten the Marine like half a Marine quicker, basically. So he's getting across the map quicker. He's starting the bunker quicker. All these things. So this is incredibly hard to spot. Okay? It's without question, it's hard to spot, but they're going to have to figure out how to look at this and kind of know and take the bunker more seriously. Because normally the lings pop out and you're just absolutely not ready with a bunker. Okay, a bunker takes 19 seconds to build. Look when he starts it. Pool finishes right around 3 minutes. So this is going to be finishing as the pool is finishing, but he is going to have to run because drones come. So it will finish before the lings. Second SCV comes up. Oh my god. Lings are hatching. Bunker finishes. Jesus. This is the level that we're getting to in 2026, where people are moving timings by 6 or 7 seconds and winning games because of it. That is how tight things have become at the top. Holy crap. Is that not crazy? If you're still here listening to this, leave a comment in the chat. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.